Yo, what is good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy X-Ray. So the next TimeSpace Junction Sector is looking like it's going to be Holy and Ice from the current links, and these are going to be obviously, you know, what you want to do so you can have an advantage in this. So I'm going to keep this quick, show you who you should build, the best teams, and what actually matters. All right, starting off with the ice. So there's really only two characters here that matter: Jericho and Manny. Jericho has 3 ice weapons: the dual sword, lance, and a rapier. Her dual swords are going to be her main damage option. She can teleport behind enemies, dealing strong damage and building up burst. She also helps increase your team's damage by lowering the enemy's cold resistance. Her lance is a more support focused thing. It gives defensive buffs and it helps your team survive while also boosting the ice damage. So it's kind of similar way to think about this is the dual swords is going to be obviously your damage, and then the lance is going to be your support. Now with Manny is a little bit different. She actually does have the holy staff plus the ice dual swords and then the ice one-handed. Her ice dual swords is going to be your main damage dealer. It applies frostbite, lowers the crit defense, and then at full stacks it gives a strong crit based dot damage. So it's really good for that little bit of damage over time. Maybe you can't get in to swing on the enemy at that point in time, but now you'll be able to do that at this point. So you can go ahead and put that on her. But her holy staff is also important as well. That does give the crit damage buff. It does faster burst generation. It also has a cooldown that resets the ultimate. So, you know, it's relatively nice. She can also be used here as like a support type of feel if you really want to use her like that. She doesn't necessarily have to be used as just a DPS. If you're still missing that little bit of damage and you want to get that damage off, especially if you don't have Daisy, you can use her as a holy character, and that way you can have some little bit more damage oomph coming out of characters and whatnot. So the simple way to really think about this is Jericho sets up the damage while Manny benefits from it and finishes the job. If you have both, you're in a really strong position in general for just doing this. But if you don't have them, this is where the holy part comes in. Holy is just as important here because it also has an advantage. I was going to be using Escanor. Escanor is going to be your main carry. If you have him, build him. There's no question about that. He does insane damage. He pretty much probably will carry you for most of this content right here. I'm assuming he's going to do relatively well in here, especially with the damage over time on the Holy. I just feel like he's going to do well, especially if you partner up that with other characters that do damage over time, as well as you having Manny there to do some more damage over time as well. So you're just going to be doing damage over time all the way to go. All right, next up we got King. Now King can changes completely depending on what you want to use or what weapon you want to use for him. So obviously you have Holy King, which is probably going to be your main DPS. If you do not have Escanor, you could run him alongside Escanor for another DPS, I guess, if you wanted to do that. It really just depends on what you want to do and how your characters are built up. Or even like I said, if you have Jericho and Manny, then you know you probably just want to run a full Holy team anyway. So Earth King will also be there for defensive support. He just gives natural survivability and stability. The Physical King can also be a flex support as well. It just really depends on what you're looking for. So in the simple way to think of it, Holy obviously will be your damage, and then the rest of his kit will really be there just for support. Next up we got Elaine. Holy Elaine boosts the burst efficiency and reduces the damage taken. Earth Elaine gives survivability and defense support, and then Wind Elaine is more of like a damage focused type of thing. So obviously you want to be focusing on the holy side of things. You could use Earth as well, like I said with King, just to be there for survivability if you're struggling on surviving and you just want to clear it for the gym rewards or something like that. But if you're trying to get that fast 3-minute clear, I'm pretty sure you're going to actually need to make sure you have at least an ice character on your team, and then at least some holy characters. I don't think Earth is going to really help you too much. Obviously, like I said, it's just there to defend you and keep you alive so you don't get one smacked about everything. But we do have a character coming up next and I'm going to talk about that will actually help you in terms of being tanky. So next we have Hendrickson. Now you might be like, dang, why are you putting Hendrickson on here? I'm not using Hendrickson. Hendrickson actually increases your defense by a decent amount. I think it's like 20%. He also boosts the healing efficiency, and then he does give the team a full heal on the ultimate. So it's just like it's like overtime heal, but it's a heal, you know what I'm saying? And if you're struggling to survive, he's a great pick to pick up. Obviously you can only have 4 slots on the team, so you kind of got to match what you got in terms of your account in order to build a team for this. It's not really hard. Like I said, it's only 2 ice characters and the rest is holy. I'm pretty sure most people have a decent amount of holy characters, at least 3 holy characters. If you did not pick up Manny, I don't know why you didn't do that from the ticket. So yeah, you're just struggling on that one. I'm not gonna go lie. All right, so next let's go ahead and talk about the best team that you could possibly run for this. I'm going to go in order, just list off a few different teams in order for you guys to get like a little bit of a general idea of what you want to build. So obviously the best team you're going to be looking for would probably be Escanor on his great sword, Jericho on her burst dual wield, Manny being on her dot damage dual wields, and then you either having King, Elaine, or Hendrickson there to fill that last spot up. It really just depends on what your account looking like. Your main 3 that you're obviously going to be using in here is going to be Escanor, Jericho, and Manny. Either way you switch Manny Tiny off from being a damage character to a support character, or you switch Jericho off from being a burster to a defensive character. It really just depends. It'll all switch up depending on what your account is looking like and what you have built so far. Next will be a balanced team. Now obviously this would be a more of a survivability type of team here, so you could run something like Escanor, Jericho, King, and then you could have Elaine and Hendrickson there for some more defense and support and stuff like that, providing a shield or just getting the defensive support from Hendrickson alone. The next team would be a full holy team here. It would be of course Escanor again. You would have Holy King, you would have Holy Elaine, and then I would put a Hendrickson there just for the extra little bit of defense that it provides you. Now I'm not 100% sure how well this team would work, obviously, because you do need to have a burst off for the holy characters to really get that much damage to go off. So you would kind of have to play around with that and see how that works for you. But for the most part, you can run a no ice team. It'd probably be better if you did run it. And that's pretty much it. Quick and simple. If this helped, drop a like, subscribe. Let me know if you are running ice or holy, or you're just going to be running holy. And other than that, it's been your boy X-Ray. Catch you in the next one. See you.